Okay, yes, we're live. It's official.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Tim Heidecker. It's Friday. It is April Fool's, so we have a bit of a surprise for you. Here in the studio is Bruce Springsteen and George W. Bush. No, just kidding. We didn't have any. It just occurred to me that we were doing this on April Fool's, and if people expect stuff like that from us, always be ready for anything. Do you have any April Fool's Day plans tonight, Doug?
Tim, we don't celebrate April Fool's. That's amateur hour.
That's true. Every other day of the year.
Yeah. We take a day off today and we do serious stuff.
That's true. That's what we're doing today. We are here in the studio with two legends, I think. Jeff Parker and Steve Gunn. Are you on mic? Yeah, you are. You're loud up. So. Yeah, you're loud up. Just do a mic check. Two.
Hello.
Hey.
Two.
Hey,
check,
hey.
check.
Yo.
And DJ Doug Pound is here.
Hello.
Vic
check
Berger
1,
woke up with what he claimed was a sore throat. I assume he's just. I think he's.
Is that a joke? Is that the April Fool's?
He's making that shit up.
I think he's like back in the high school days. I'm embarrassed because I came down and Steve was here.
You're a little off mic.
Oh, I'm a little off mic?
Yeah.
And Steve said, good, he did the old, good to see you again.
I said long time no
Long time no see.
I might as well do drops.
Okay. I felt like I was losing my mind. And I didn't realize, but we had met many years ago.
Long time ago. My feelings weren't hurt that you didn't remember. It's okay.
And we grew up, well, we didn't grow up together, but in the college day, went to college around the same time, at the same college.
Yeah.
Were we in any classes together? Were you in film school?
I was, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You'd think I would remember a Steve Gunn. Right? Did you change your name? Were you under another name?
No.
Well, that would have been embarrassing. I was Steve Schneider.
We definitely hung out on campus. I remember you had a shaved head.
I was a skinhead Nazi. I was a white power guy.
You had a shaved head in college, Tim?
Yeah. Well, not a shaved head. I don't know why I remember that. But I had like a crew cut.
Why?
Because I was into hard right politics. I had the white shoelaces.
And then when did you switch?
Very recently. With 2004. Hey, listen, you should see the tattoos I have. Not good.
You have to wear the long sleeves to cover up.
Jeff, we've never met.
No, never met.
Do you know who I am? Familiar with my work? Heard of it? And it's fine.
It's okay if
any answer is safe here.
No.
Thank you. I feel good about that. I feel okay with that. Now, Doug is from Chicago.
Oh.
That's a good question.
That's not a question. No, I've seen you perform many times with Tortoise, and I saw you recently, well, not that recently, but at that bar on Fig when you were playing Monday nights.
Yeah, I recognize you. Definitely.
I think I was probably standing next to someone you actually knew, and I was like, "Hi, I'm friends with someone you know."
Oh.
You live here in L.A.?
Yeah, I live in Altadena.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, this was just down the street for you.
Yep.
Don't give my address out.
You got Pasadena, and you have the alternate Dena. That's the one.
That's nice. You like it out there?
I do. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're neighbors now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll become friends. I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see how this goes. Well, we saw you guys last night at Zebulon. Great show.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Steve, you're playing but you're playing with the band tonight.
Playing with the band tonight.
Are you playing with the band tonight as well?
Yes.
Your band?
Kind of. These keeps falling out of my ear.
Oh, here's the trick. You go over the back.
Oh, okay.
And then up and over.
Okay, thanks.
And Steve,
Yeah, I'm actually playing with the group that I play with on Monday nights. The group that you saw
Oh. You are where?
tonight at Zebulon.
Oh, cool.
where do you play Monday nights again? What's it called?
It's called ETA. It's on in Highland Park.
Oh, wow.
56 Avenue 56 in Figueroa.
Okay.
It's a hot band.
I
You
just
gotta go
saw them
sometime.
last Monday, and it was very, very good.
I've never been invited.
It's very good, Tim. You should go.
You do, and it's a standing appointment. That's what you do Mondays.
Yeah, ever since things have opened back up, like everybody's getting really busy now. So I don't know when we'll be able to do it again.
Oh, because the band you play with have other obligations.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're good. I just want to clarify that.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Steve, you have an album that has come out fairly recently, right? This year
Yeah, it came out like in late August, early September.
of last year.
Yes.
And are you? So you guys are on tour. Is this a tour?
It is. It's kind of. It hasn't taken flight yet because
Okay.
we're here we're playing at Zebulon 3
You're playing Zebulon 3
nights. Yeah, at 3. No, last night was our first night, and then we have 2 more,
Right.
and then we go on the road and go all the way up to Vancouver.
Is it a van tour situation?
It's Jeff's vehicle. It's really nice.
What kind of
Yeah.
vehicle?
It's a minivan.
Okay, so it's a minivan tour.
Yeah.
Minivan tour.
But when you hit the road, you're not bringing other people. It's just the two of you
And our associate Michael.
and Michael.
Yeah. So it's the 3 of us.
What do you what do you listen to in the van? Do you figure it out yet? Is it quiet? Is there talking?
Not much
If you
talking.
let's Doug's ambiance of the van and highway sounds. Now, no, no. Let's role play. Who's
Okay.
driving? You're driving. It's
Michael's
your car.
driving.
Michael's driving. Yeah.
Michael's driving. Michael, get in here. Michael, come kneel down. Use that microphone, and we're gonna simulate. Okay, you're about an hour into the drive, and take it away. Scene.
I know them breaking the wall.
I'm usually in the passenger
Okay, so make that happen.
seat. So you gotta.
I'm usually in the back.
Jeff's usually in the back. Steve's sitting shotgun.
Okay.
We're usually listening. I like to listen to the WFMU archive of there's a handful of shows I like to listen to all the
Okay.
time, and WWOZ in New Orleans. There's
Oh.
like a few shows, and they're like 3-hour shows, which is kind of nice for drives.
And Steve's like, "Can we put on WMMR,
Yeah,
put on WYSB, Philly,
definitely.
classic rock."
Sometimes I'll pop my headphones in.
Okay.
To maybe listen to something different.
Yeah.
See, I like to do that when I'm in a road trip
Yeah.
situation, and I feel like it's kind of rude. I'm worried that it's rude, but I don't think it's rude.
Once you get moving, no one's feelings are hurt.
I want
And
to be
it's
in my own
easier-
zone. And
It's easier. Oh, sorry.
I excused him.
I think that should
felt
be a
like-
more acceptable thing to do, is to listen to whatever you want in your
That's because I
noise
I have-
canceling headphones.
I like to listen to a lot of dumb stuff sometimes.
Like what? What do you mean by dumb stuff? In
I
sync?
don't know. Yeah,
Podcast.
maybe
The
if
new-
I'm feeling it, No, or like pop music, or I have sometimes my attention span is different, and I feel like I want to listen to just kind of maybe things that I wouldn't necessarily listen to, just to kind of because I'm sitting still in a moving vehicle
Right.
and have time. I have trouble reading in the van,
Oh, that's really hard. Yeah.
so I'm just sort of like, watching the road.
How about you, Jeff? What are you putting on?
Me, I'm usually in the back listening to. I usually have my headphones in, and I'm usually listening to jazz.
Jazz.
Joe Henderson or
I listen
Thelonious
to-
Monk.
Recordings of people playing 20 questions. That'd be a fun podcast, 20 questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Do you know the song 21 Questions by, there's it's like a rap song.
21 Questions?
Yeah.
I know 31
Is
Flavors.
that what it's
It's
called?
50 Cent and J
Yeah,
period.
it's a great song.
Let's hear
But
it.
it's not 20.
This will be our entree into
It's a great song.
songwriting analysis.
Very long
It's about a
intro.
breakup.
Well, we're going to talk about songwriting analysis. Is that
Oh yeah. Is it? This is 50
relationship.
Cent.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this song. I know that beat.
That was Nate Dogg, or no, that was.
That was
50.
the dog scene.
Have either of you been sampled on a hip hop song?
Yes.
From Tortoise. Or-
No, from Chicago Underground Core Trio. And then I forget who
You sampled it?
I think it was Black Milk.
Hmm.
Sampled it.
Black Milk.
Yeah.
I don't know Black. Do
Never
you know
heard
Black, Milk?
That's a cool name, though.
He's from Detroit, I think. He's a producer from Detroit.
Steve.
Yes.
What? How? Where? Why? That's just that's a game. Go through a wheel of those four things, and you have to choose which one to start with. But I mean, basic question: like, how do you approach starting to write a song? What is the first part of that process? That is there a system that you have in your life to control that, or is it hard to have any control over it?
It kind of comes in little bits. Sometimes I'll play a lot of little guitar here and there.
Yeah.
And I say, ooh, that sounds good.
Right.
I'll maybe record it on my phone, or sometimes I have a little studio at home, but I have a little Zoom recorder. So I kind of try to keep little things that I come up with and then move on. I tend to like do all kinds of stuff and then re-listen back and revisit things, I guess.
Right.
And then if I like something, I'll try to piece together, make a demo, and then try to come up with some words, maybe think of some ideas.
So the music starts things off.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. First.
Are the lyrics kind of they're secondary by the fact that you're starting that part after the music is kind of starting to establish. So are you looking for words that suit the vibe of the music?
Sometimes.
Do you have things that you'd want to get out of you? There's ideas and thoughts you want to get out?
I think it's sort of, I'll write about, pontificate about something that I'm thinking about. I don't like to be very specific. I don't like to be like confessional or here I am.
It's not autobiographical.
This cool dude walking down the street. I kind of like to think a little differently. And I like to experiment with words.
Did you just eat your words, literally?
No.
It's all this carbonation.
It is. That's what
we burp freely on this show, by the way.
Oh,
I burp
okay.
loudly and freely and frequently.
Yeah, I was trying to
What's your
swallow it.
You can't hide anything from me. What about you, Jeff? What's your process to use a overdone word?
I mean, it's kind of similar to Steve's. I mean, it usually starts with, well, either improvising for me, or just an idea, like
A
I'm
phrase,
very,
musical phrase.
sometimes it's just, I kind of rely on processes a lot, you know?
So,
like,
what do you mean by that?
like I might have, what if I try this? And it's more about me trying, like having an idea of a way to make music more than the actual music ideas. Like I could like kind of, okay, I'm gonna create pads of sound and then like move them around and see what happens.
Right.
Like that type of thing. I make a lot of my music like that, actually.
So experimenting with different like parameters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a blueprint, you know, like like I might have like a score, like or I'll like lay out a series of events that I want to happen. And it doesn't even matter what the music is. It's more about like me creating this sequence of events.
How do you do that practically? What is the thing you're doing? Is it in a program? Is it on paper? Is it just in your head? Like, what is the practical, like, nuts and bolts of it?
I mean, it could be like, I mean, for instance, I recently, I composed a piece for this contemporary music group called Dal Niente. And, I mean, what I did is in this program called Ableton Live.
I think Doug's a master of that, right?
I'm not a master of it.
He's a
but
master.
I have that. I play with it.
But I knew the thing that I wanted to do was I kind of created these pads with a digital delay pedal and some filtering. And I knew that I just was going to make these pads. And then I made a bunch of them. And then I just kind of like moved them
You can move
around.
them around.
When you made a pad, do you mean like you created all in Ableton, like it's a chord, or it's a sample?
It's a sample. Like
It's like a guitar.
Well, I recorded myself making these pads, and then I edited them together to make a chord progression. And then I kind of put melodies on top of that. And it was more, I knew that that's how I wanted to make the piece of music. And it was more about the process than actually
the finished product?
Yeah.
But you're happy with the finished product?
Yeah.
So when you're making it, it's like you don't know what it's going to be until you get there.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
When maybe this is more for live than recording or writing, but when you're improvising, especially, well, I guess two different ways. When you're improvising solo, that's a whole other experience because you're just in your own head and you're not collaborating with somebody. But when you are collaborating with somebody, is it just from years and years of doing it that you know how to structure that to some degree so it's not just chaos? How do you know how to improvise with other people? Or how do you improvise with other people?
I mean, you kind of prepare for it, you know. I mean, that's what I always tell people. It's kind of like, for me, when I improvise, I try and commit to the moment, you know. Like, I don't want to come in and kind of have preconceived things.
Right.
You have to be open to it.
Yeah.
You have to be open to it, but you also have to be in communication with the people. You're like just eye contact and
listening.
Listening.
Yeah,
right.
listening. Mm-hmm.
Matt, should we take a call because I forgot that's a whole other side of this.
Yeah, we forgot about that.
I forgot that there's people. There's actually people watching this, if you could believe it.
Wow.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant it. It's just funny to think that we're just talking and there's people on there with their vintage T-shirts in their background.
Bailey, or did you get your audio worked out? Do you have a question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
How many songs are too many songs for an album?
Well, it depends if you're like a pop punk group. I don't know. You can have
how many songs?
40 songs.
Well, the Beatles used to do like 10.
This is the question you have?
But on Spotify, you can do as many songs as you want. If you're a new artist, should you jump in there with a bunch?
I think
Like,
you
so
should,
people can really dig in? Do you want to do singles? What do you
you
think?
should pick 7 of your favorite. That's my answer.
So
Well, how
kind
do
of
you-
like an E EP.
But also, I think for me, I always think in terms of an LP,
Yeah.
and usually each side you have about maximum 22 minutes. That's pushing it a little far. Depending on how long your songs are, you kind of have to sequence the songs to fit the sides of each side of the LP. So that's kind of a good constraint. So you're not loading up. I mean, I guess you could have a double album, but
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're from the same generation of like albums are singular pieces of work
Yeah.
that they don't have to always be a rock opera or a full concept album, but they should feel like they all belong together and
yeah,
shouldn't be too long, and they shouldn't just be a big kitchen sink of ideas, right? We want
Right.
when I make an album, when you guys make an album, it's like this is that thing. And
yeah.
if there's too many songs, it probably
So a
can't work.
traditional idea. Okay.
I think also for me, it's nice. I tend to lose perspective on a lot of stuff I do, and I'm like, oh gosh, I have 15 songs. What do I do with these? I have, it's good to have someone you trust to maybe like take a listen.
An editor.
Editing is important. Someone who kind of knows what you're doing and maybe has maybe some guiding opinions.
When you
that's pretty
sequence an
helpful.
album, do you want to make the third song the best one? Or
That's interesting.
how does
Yeah,
I'm a
I
number
think
4
I've
guy.
heard
You're
that.
4. Okay.
I've always
that matter
not in
anymore
my
in
own
this-
work, just in when I look at the records I love, I notice I love the 4th song the
Yeah.
most. But
I always
So
thought
like
Could be
the third is common.
coincidence.
You don't
Yes, sir.
want to.
Bailey, you're saying something?
Oh, it's like batting cleanup. Fourth. It's fourth
Yeah.
spot.
So what's the first song going to be? Not the best song, but
Introduction, maybe thematic introduction.
thematic introduction.
Not you don't want to top load it with your best material. Maybe
Yeah, you don't want your first song to be the best one,
is it? It's
No.
kind of like
because then the rest is a
Diminishing results.
Return. Yeah.
Bailey, was that a dog? That's like a dog's name. I've never heard of Bailey.
I got that a lot growing up.
It's named after a.
actually my mom's dog's name is Bailey.
Yeah, I know. I did my
It used to
research
be
on
the number
you.
one dog name.
I know everybody's moms and their dogs and
I think dog names should be more used for humans more and more, like
Doug's name
Fido
is,
and Rex.
Doug's name is Scout.
Scout. I don't know. Tim.
I'm sorry, Bailey. I know.
Oh, I got that a lot. Yeah.
I know Pearl S. Bailey. Didn't she write a book?
It used to be the most popular dog name in the country.
Really, Bailey?
Where's Barnum?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Where's
So
your
I got
Irish
that.
cream, huh?
Yeah.
I say, where's
It's a
Barnum?
family name. It's an Irish family name. Yeah.
You could get a dog, name him Bailey, and call him Junior.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
The second.
Let's take another call.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Bailey.
Thank you, Bailey.
We're bailing on Bailey.
We're bailing on Bailey.
Beautiful woods he's got back there. What if we saw him get killed, but like we saw somebody come behind him, you know, in the woods, like a guy with an axe, just chopped his head. Window breaks. Ah!
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you,
Yeah, let's
Bailey?
go back to Bailey. Let's stick
His
with
name
him.
was Bailey. I already muted Bailey.
I was gonna know, but we can
The
unmute
trees
him.
are a little bare. I would maybe.
Virginia.
I'm gonna guess
Oh, let's guess.
Bailey?
Connecticut.
Okay. Connecticut. I'm gonna guess.
Don't answer until we all guess
Well,
Bailey.
Yeah, shit.
I'm gonna guess.
Roswell, Georgia.
God damn it,
Just
Bailey.
Bailey.
We were about
What
to.
did we just say?
Oh, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Sorry,
It's
we were
okay.
just trying to guess. What's up behind you? The tree's falling. All right, Bailey. We had a cool game. Guess where you are, but
Thanks, Bailey. Jake Metzger. Jake, are you there?
Hey everyone, I'm in Philly right now. Just shout out to Steve.
I like how he comes in hard like it's his show.
And he's got. You're
It's
in
like,
Philly?
hey everyone.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you got the Phillies warm-up jacket on there?
Whereabouts
Yeah.
in Philly are you?
Go Phils. Yeah, I'm actually in Westchester right now,
Oh, no
but
way. I know
my
it
sister
well.
goes to Temple,
Yeah.
so I was just down there.
You're right. You're right near where my mom lives, actually.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey-
Yeah, we're looking for
Bailey's
Bailey.
there as
The
well.
dog.
I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I was calling to check. Steve, I really liked what you said. Well, when you're going back to your lyrics and you're looking over your ideas, you mentioned the word confessional being the thing you sort of stay away from. And a few years ago, Tim, I actually ran into a copy of What the Brokenhearted Do. And that's what really got me really interested into what everything else you do. I think Fear of Death is great. It was really cool hearing you talk about how collaborating on that process with Natalie brought you a lot of interesting places, challenged you as an artist. And I was interested sort of when you guys are going back to ideas that you sort of first write down on the paper, what are the things that you look for? What sticks out to you? What's some of the stuff that you're like, oh, wait, no, I don't like to do that? Maybe from all three of you would be cool to hear.
Thank you.
Sometimes, like when I play, if I come up with like an interesting sort of guitar thing, sometimes it's the words that kind of have to like go with the music,
Mm-hmm.
so it's sort of a random fit. It might not make any sense, but the sort of delivery and enunciation of the words is kind of a part of the music.
Definitely.
And sometimes if you're just sort of sitting around and just kind of pulling things out of nowhere, it's surprising sometimes. That can often be the most interesting stuff lyrically. So I think just sort of one of the things that I do is just kind of, I'll play something over and over and over again. And like, if it's an interesting word that kind of fits into it, I'll write it down. And it was interesting to hear Jeff talk about his process, because I often don't set out to write a song like point A to point B, resolve, D, how wonderful it all is. It's more of a kind of push and pull of like experimenting and really what sounds good, I guess. And then if something sounds really dumb, I can kind of like maybe massage it a little bit and maybe try to make a little more sense maybe. But I don't know if that answers your question. But
I was just going to add that I sometimes it helps to like put yourself in the mode of another artist, or think about how this is going to sound like a Bruce Springsteen song. It's going to sound like a
Bon Jovi.
That's dangerous, maybe, but
I know what you mean though.
It's like, how would Randy Newman do this? And that like gets me going, and then I have to work back from that, or like kind of strip that away then, like. But it gets me going, gets me started. And I always find I end up like, it's hard to write. Do you find like it happens in big like waves?
Yeah.
Like there'll be just months where I'm just like nothing, and pick up a guitar, sit at the piano and nothing.
Yeah.
And then I'll start. Then something like I get turned on by something, and then I've like 4 songs come out.
Yeah.
You gotta wait for the muse to come to you.
Wave of inspiration.
I don't know what it is, but I think it's like the subconscious kind of.
You're unlocking something.
Yeah.
I'm a very like slow composer, man. I feel like I write something every few years, if it seems like.
Really? Do you have to dedicate time do you have to give yourself time to do that work? Like, do you have to make yourself do it? Like,
I do,
make it a scheduled thing?
Yeah.
Because this is your life.
Yeah.
This is your life. Here comes Bailey, and your mom's going to come in. But
Do you guys work
Bailey
from-
and Reese, there's another dog.
Do you guys work from home, or do you get out of your house to go to a dedicated studio?
Yeah, I have a studio, just a rehearsal space that when I was writing my last record, I was trying to like get up and like treat it like I'm gonna go to my studio for the day, get there at 10, stay till 4 or 5, and sort of try to get into a routine. I think it's important for me to like not break that, because I felt like I was working towards something.
You would accomplish something every day.
And I think if I was kind of just dabbling in it a little bit here and there, it's hard for me to. I guess I have a sort of like my attention span's pretty short, so I try to like give myself some constraints and just do one thing and try to finish it and then move on.
How long? How you're both very technically accomplished players, I think. I would say from seeing you last night. How fast did that come to you? I'll start with you, Steve. How fast did the technical playing come to you, or is it something that you felt like you put hours and hours and hours and hours of practice and?
It's still, the technical stuff is still coming to me.
Really?
But I think I played a lot.
Mhm.
I kind of.
Were you playing that well, like back in college?
Not really.
No. You weren't playing that kind of music.
No, I was more doing a lot of, I was playing a lot with a lot of effects, and I kind of went through different phases. When I was a teenager, I was playing like punk rock and hardcore,
Mm-hmm.
and I like, ended up going on this little tour with the band. Yeah.
Doug's got all his various kinds of bad guitar.
How did you find that?
I have
So cool.
thousands of drops that
I mean, how did you find my band?
Oh, your band. I just Googled it and it came right up. What was your punk rock band called?
Oh man. Well, the first band that I went on tour with, I was a sophomore in high school in the summer. Those guys were seniors, and it was a hardcore band, and they were called Reveal.
Oh. Yeah, they're getting to the core.
Perfect hardcore
I mean,
band.
no disrespect, but it was not very good. The drumming sounded like someone was throwing a drum set down the stairs. But I was shocked. Their bass player had quit, and they asked me. I was sort of friendly with them. Yeah, and they were, "Hey, do you want to go on tour with us? Our bass player just quit." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, sure." Then I kind of had to beg my parents to let me go. I was pretty young.
You were in high school?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like 15. So then I mean, it was monumental for me, but basically we just went around to like 3 different states and came back.
Right.
Played in a few basements.
Played in basements.
With like Star Wars sheets, like hanging on the roof. Like, it was weird.
It's kind of sad because those kids now are like, they're just all like with their VR headsets on now. They're not in basements having shows, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
They're on TikTok. What was your first little tiptoe into music?
Man, probably, I mean, I have to say probably church.
Really?
Like singing in church choir and stuff.
In Chicago?
No,
I don't know why I assume you're from Chicago just because of Tortoise, but you're not.
No, I actually, I was born in Connecticut and I grew up in Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, when back to your thing about technical, I mean, I used to practice a lot,
Mm-hmm.
And it
paid off. Is that what you're gonna say?
No, but that's kind of just how. I'm glad that I had time to like dedicate to it at one point.
What was in your early like high school, college? What were you playing?
High school, I was like into everything. I was like wanted to play like Eddie Van Halen,
Okay.
and Stevie Ray Vaughan. But also,
you ever? I realized recently. I mean, this is probably common knowledge, but that Stevie Ray Vaughan on that David Bowie song.
Oh yeah.
What song am I thinking of? And then once you hear it, you're like, I can never hear that with it
what
not
song?
playing.
I don't know.
Just Dance or
Let's Dance.
Stevie Ray.
Let's Dance.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Let's Dance.
Yeah. Once you hear it, you're like, oh, of course that's Stevie Ray
Yeah.
Vaughan.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's a great solo.
Matt's bringing it up.
That's Stevie Ray. Wow, I didn't know that.
It's funny, all you need to do is hear that one.
Makes so much sense. Yeah.
Are you bringing
Doug?
it?
I'm not
That's a
doing
good.
anything.
That's a good sample just to have that boing.
Need that stems.
That's so funny.
Let's take another call.
another Tim from Podular Modcast. He's a synth head that we are friendly with. Tim?
Let's have a caller.
Hey guys.
Are you there, Tim?
Yeah, can you hear me?
A little low, but
Gotcha.
Turn up here.
No camera?
Yeah. I have my camera on.
oh, that's on our side. Luke, can you
Turn me up.
Yeah, just leave the Zoom on their monitor. That's fine. Just leave it up.
Yeah.
It's still Bailey?
I know, but he'll come up once he starts talking, probably.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump on to talk about this. Well, first of all, Jeff, I'm a huge Tortoise fan. Top 5 bands of all time, and I love the new record.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Beatles, Stones, The Who, Floyd,
and Tortoise.
Zeppelin. That's 5. So, what are we doing here?
Just my personal favorites.
I know. Just kidding.
But yeah, I have a podcast called Podular Modcast. Doug's been a guest. Lisa Belladonna's been a guest. Kay Logan's been on, and Sam Prekop from The Sea and Cake, who shares a drummer with Jeff. So yeah, we just released this album called Podular Modcast and Friends. Part of the show is I have a patch challenge where people build a piece of music based off of a 2-word prompt that I give them. So I had some people submit those tracks, and we made a vinyl out of it. So side A is Lisa Belladonna, Daedalus, Sarah Bell Reed, Lemon Jaya, and Space Racer. And then the side B is my remixes of all those songs. And we have 100 Baby Blue vinyl available, and all the proceeds go to Mary's Place, which is a charity in Seattle that helps women, children, and families out of houselessness.
Okay, we'll follow up with our ad sales department about this commercial.
Well, I wanted to be succinct because I didn't want to take up too much time.
You wanted to be succinct.
I had it all on a list here, but yeah, I also, Tim, I did a cover of your song "Nothing" on my modular synth. If you want to check that out.
Right now?
I have it linked. I have it.
Let's hear a little piece of it. Let's hear a sample of it.
Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna switch.
Should have led with that.
How does it? I don't even know what he means.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
We can hear it. Don't mess with That's it.
I have to take his word for it.
Great.
Wait, this is a cover of your songs? Or a remix?
That's awesome.
I love it.
It's a modular filibuster.
Black boy waiting for us one day. We're all gonna die.
Seems kind of disrespectful to my work. Thank you. Well, good for you. It seems like you're having fun.
What's he doing? What's going on here?
Do you guys
bear over there?
Do you guys get into that modular synth scene, Jeff and Steve?
No.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, not really. I have a modular synth of just a Korg MS-20 that I've had forever, but I don't get into it like that.
See, I get stressed out with all those.
It's a lot of wires.
Yeah,
All the
I get
patch
stressed out with
bays and-
with my Wi-Fi router and stuff,
Yeah.
plugging stuff in, and always feels like it's beyond my understanding.
One plug, one knob. That'd be my synth. That'd be my choice.
Mm.
Two knobs, volume and how
Tone.
weird can it get?
Modulation.
Modulations and volume.
He's not happy with us.
Do they have that synth?
He's not happy with us.
Oh, should I
Tim,
muted?
do they have that synth available?
Did you have more to say, modular, Podular Tim? Oh, you have to unmute on your side.
Yeah, I mean, I get these. I think it's funny because I also acknowledge the ridiculousness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot of fun with it, and it's very meditative.
Definitely.
Not as confusing as it seems. Like once you kind of figure out what each little like actual individual thing has its job, and then you just tell it to tell something else what to do. But you can't quite get it to totally listen to you. So there's a lot of people describe it as almost like a collaboration with some other type of
like an alien
conscious entity. Or, yeah.
That's cool. Because you mean you're not entirely sure what it's going to sound like. You're just sort of experimenting.
Right. Yeah, because you're using on the kind of guitar pedal, rather than like moving the knobs with your hands, you're using different types of control voltage sources with various, ranges of outputs, and then you're trying to clock them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just different function generators, and you're just kind of finding ways to, mix all these different signals to make something that's interesting, and it leaves a lot of room for collaboration. Like, for instance, I just did that thing this morning, just sang a verse of nothing from Tim's album Fear of Death into my modular, and I basically got the beginning sounding cool. Everything after that, I just try to there's a level of improv, but also a level of knowing what my equipment does. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I can kind of
navigate it a little bit. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's really fun.
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Steve, what's a song of yours that you are trying to get to when you write a new song, or when you think what's a song of yours? I hate the word favorite, but what's a song where you're like, I got it all in that one. That I'm proud. A song that you're proud of.
There's a song that I like playing a lot. That's a new song of mine.
Can you play it?
Sure.
Can you play a piece of it?
Sure. It's called On the Way. And
I'll just follow along.
Yeah, I'm in kind of a weird... You can.
Really?
You can improvise.
Simple?
It's, yeah.
Your manager's coming and say, don't play this song. This is not... You're supposed to do this on Tiny Desk concerts next week.
It kind of just based... I was listening to a lot of Brazilian music.
As was I.
And I was sort of listening, I don't know, just to the way that they were playing guitar, and kind of came up with this.
And are you in a weird tuning, you said?
Just this riff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It might not be in tune, but...
It sounds in tune. Are you in a weird tuning?
Just in like standard, but just in.
Yeah, tune up
I
for a
had
sec.
this little capo because.
By the way, last night you gave a capo away.
Gave a capo away.
That was a weird move. I mean, they're not. It's a substantial piece of equipment.
It's $12. Yeah.
$12.
Yeah.
The guys on the road. That wasn't a sold out show. I don't know if you should be giving away capos, by the way.
You should get a capo cannon. Just shoot him out into the audience.
Well,
T-shirt cannon.
I mean, he seemed excited.
How
so-
far up the neck is an acceptable limit with the capo?
You can go all the way. My stop is 6.
Because there's been debate amongst my guitar player friends.
I really like.
But also, this is kind of strange, but this is tuned down a step. Because I read, I don't know, I was trying to kind of free myself up a little bit, and a lot of like Velvet Underground songs, for instance, are written a step down.
Right.
And I know like some songs that I like.
That used to be very
songwriters.
common.
Yeah. It kind of helped me with my vocal range.
Like all the strings are one step
just
down?
one step, because it's like you just
A half
tune
step.
each- yeah.
So you. But then when you put the capo on the one, you're back to square one, right?
So it's like a sharp. It's like a fraction of a step. It's down a whole step from standard. And then if I do this, then it's
a full
sharp. It's like this is D sharp or whatever. But I wrote a lot of the songs. Most of the songs in my new record were written just in standard with like just tuned down a step. Like there's a song, I'll play the riff. A song called Morning River. it's just gives me a little more vocal because I have a sort of, I don't know, kind of mid-range voice.
Yeah.
I have this other song.
You have a really pretty voice.
Thank you. This song's called Good Wind, and same thing, same tuning.
You really get a lot of use out of your pinky, I notice.
Yeah.
On your fret hand. On your fret
Oh,
hand.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
That is, I think, a muscle that I'm not comfortable with using.
Yeah,
You,
I mean-
do you use your pinky?
I use mine.
You do? That's like I think that's what I need to work on. Let me see.
Was that something you like woodshedded at some point to get the pinky?
You got it.
How do you do this? Because you're doing all that with your pinky.
I guess so.
I can't do that. See, you have to use a lot. That's a muscle.
I also use these finger picks.
Yeah, but I'm
Like,
talking about your fret.
Yeah,
work, 'cause
yeah.
you're hammering down on that. See that? See that, man?
I see it. I saw it last night when you did that song last night.
Yeah.
In particular, I noticed. I was like, whoa. What was the duet you guys did? Was during your set, Jeff? Was that one of your compositions?
Yeah, that's an old song I wrote called La Jetée.
It's beautiful.
Tortoise has recorded a version of it called Jetty on TNT.
Can you play us something?
Me?
Would you play us something?
Sure. Yeah, I can try and play that.
That's my guitar, right? You grabbed?
Yes.
What do you think? It's just
I like it.
It's a 90s epi.
Sounds good. Sorry. It's you get used to playing my own instrument. It's
I would, Steve. You do this you do this thing a lot.
Yeah, that
Right?
ride in that E shape.
Yeah, and I've got this new song that I'm coming out in a few months, but I was writing it almost thinking of you and Kurt Weill because I think
cool.
I started singing it like Kurt, and it goes a little like this. It goes, can I do this? And it's I got Kurt to sing it with me on the record.
Oh, whoa,
So it's
cool.
this weird duet.
Is
but
this your
it's-
new record?
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes, Sirens of Titan, Venus and Furs, Claudia Schiffer. My dad got me a waterbed. Must have got a deal on her. Peter Arnett in a Baghdad hotel. Peter Arnett showing us Baghdad getting bombed to hell. Peter Arnett showing Scud missiles heading for Israel. Could be an easy war to win, but you can never tell. Very Kurt Weill,
Cool.
right?
Kind of reminds me of Sid Barrett a little bit too.
I'm on my bed,
It's awesome.
sloshing around, listening to Sunday morning and Venus and Furs. Think about the bad news. Think about the bad news. It's just that.
Yeah, that's great.
I love it.
Yeah, that's
Great.
awesome.
I'll send you the track's got a real dark,
Hmm.
scary tone to it.
I saw you're playing some concerts in New York.
Yeah,
Cool, I'm trying to check
New
that out.
York. I'll invite you. Put you on the list.
Okay.
And then last night I'm getting ready for this set this weekend, and I think that's when I do a lot of writing too, is when I'm rehearsing.
Yeah.
Because you get bored of your songs, right?
Right.
So I started doing this. I think I'm going to heaven for all the good that I do. I think I'm going to heaven. I was like, that's cool.
You know that Los Lonely Boys tune?
No,
How Far Is Heaven?
no.
You don't know that?
Should
Can
I?
you pull that up?
Is it
Oh, it's a
classic?
ripoff.
No, but lyrically maybe. but-
I ain't gonna get no room. You know, just like a little Nick Lowe kind of thing.
Yeah.
Love Nick Lowe.
Yeah. What is
You've
this now?
definitely-
Los Lonely
heard
Boys.
this.
This song
Big
rips.
hit. We don't want to get dinged.
All right.
In this crazy world, how far is heaven? And I just keep on.
I don't remember this song. What years are we talking about here?
90s maybe?
Yeah, late 90s,
I could
early
hear this at
2000s.
CVS.
It's
you know?
funny because
Yeah.
we got to a venue in San Diego, the Casbah, and we had a little time.
Oh yeah, I know the Casbah.
And I was walking down the street just getting some fresh air, and this dude just like drives by in a convertible, like with Los Lonely Boys, like super loud. Hell yeah!
Living the dream.
What were your who were your this is a Mark Maron question. Who are your guys? Who are your like songwriting heroes? You might have different. I mean, I hope you have different answers.
Yeah.
That would be lame if you synced up on that.
I mean, I have a lot of different influences. I listened to a lot of different kinds of music when I was younger. But songwriting wise, I mean, I love Neil. I love Bob.
Yeah, you're a Bob guy.
I'm a Bob guy. Yeah.
Me too. Have you seen him this year or last year?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times.
Vila.
Bob Vila. I'm friendly. Tony Garnier
Oh yeah,
played on a record, not this one, but the one before.
the longtime bass player for Bob.
Yeah, amazing guy. And we became friendly.
This is Tony Gagne.
He's amazing. Yeah.
I thank Tony Gagne for being here tonight.
He's the band leader, Tony. But we became friendly, and I usually try to punish him for a list.
Right.
It's come through a few times.
But that can't be easy in New York. But it might
Well,
be
it is-
easier if you're in like Cleveland or something.
Yeah, that's true. It's easier, and sometimes it's easy in New York because he'll play the Beacon Theater like 8 nights.
Right.
And
Ooh, sorry.
but I saw him. Yeah, I've seen Dylan a bunch the past like couple of years.
I had tickets to go see him in San Antonio a few months last month, and I
Yeah.
got a work thing that I had to bail on it.
Have you
So-
seen the Rough and Rowdy
No,
Ways tour?
and I can't wait. I mean,
You
I've,
like
s-
that?
I've watched.
You like the album?
Yeah, I love the album.
Me too. Yeah.
Love it. Love it more than probably anything else that came out.
Mhm.
More than it's top. It's not just like, oh, I like Bob, so I like. It's like I
Yeah.
legitimately like it on its own.
Yeah, but when I was younger,
Whatever that means.
I mean, songwriting wise, that's sort of
Velvets.
yeah, big time Velvets. That's like my probably number one.
Are you one of these people like who's not a Beatles guy?
I love Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Some people are,
I know. Yeah,
Some people have that attitude.
I've
How are
come
you,
to
Jeff?
like the Beatles more than
You're coming from a different angle.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
More
my
of a
music's
jazz.
like mostly instrumental. But I mean, I love Neil Young. I mean, he's huge, big fan, big influence on me as a guitarist. And
Really?
just like,
The
yeah,
tones
I mean,
and the
yeah, just the
experimentation.
tones and the kind of space he commands with his music. You know, just like he's just such a like sincere and like unique musical sensibility. I mean, that's inspiring. But you know, I mean, my own writing's really influenced by Thelonious Monk a lot.
Yeah.
just the architecture of the way he constructs his songs, you know.
There's a good film about him, right?
Yeah, called Straight No Chaser.
Straight No Chaser.
His biography is really great too. The one that came out.
Yeah, the one that Robin Kelly wrote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was he a troublesome guy? Was he a hard guy, or was he like a good guy? So some of those,
he was. I mean, he suffered from mental illness.
Okay.
Which is, he probably the last 10 years of his, or at least maybe 15 years of his life, he didn't really play. He a lot of people thought he was nuts.
Right.
But he was he was mentally ill. He had
undiagnosed.
Undiagnosed.
Right.
Yeah.
Untreated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why he would hit those notes that are like wrong, like those. Didn't he hit like? I don't know music very much, but I was watching something about him, and he would do those kind of sour.
Right. Yeah.
Brown notes.
Yeah.
Not brown notes, just sort of like
dissonant.
Dissonant.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't because he was mentally ill.
Yeah, no, you just heard.
That was his.
Maybe that helped.
What about Joni Mitchell?
I want. You know how you want to like an artist,
yeah,
but it just doesn't ring. Click. I think it's the singing. I don't want to say that I dislike her, but I just don't find myself.
That's fair enough.
I think she's amazing. Like, she's very unique. She kind of blows a lot of those songwriters away.
Yeah.
As far as there's this footage of her playing a song, and it's in a film recently. Can't remember what movie it was in, but it's just incredible. She's like hanging out. I think Dylan's there. And I think it was a Rolling Thunder Review film.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's doing Coyote.
Doing Coyote. She plays it in front of them. She's at Gordon Lightfoot's apartment.
It's the greatest
whatever,
scene.
And it's like,
she's like, I just wrote this song.
Yeah, and they're all like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
It's huge.
So she's amazing, but I don't know.
You hate women.
I
That's
quite
all.
like.
You hate women.
I really like.
You think women are for one thing and one thing only, and you can't let them into your little boys' club. I get it.
No, I was gonna say I like Mimi Farina quite a bit. Mimi and Richard Farina.
I don't know.
They made records. They're kind of around the same. Mimi Farina is Joan Baez's sister.
Oh wow.
And
okay.
She had this husband who sadly passed away very young, but they were a songwriting couple, and they did a bunch of records on the Vanguard label. Really beautiful. Like he plays dulcimer, and she plays guitar.
I'm looking at a picture. Matt has it up here.
Yeah, beautiful music.
Oh, he's playing it.
Yeah.
So
there they are.
Wow. So that's Joan Baez's sister.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
and she was.
And sadly, Richard Farina died in a car accident. Like when he was pretty. I mean, just shortly. They only made 3 or 4 albums.
Oh,
but they're
cool.
wonderful, and like they're great session musicians, and
So I think Bob Bob was dating Joan, but then I think maybe also he was involved with her or some. I don't know. There's some
Joni.
Bob,
or
like
Mimi.
with both the sisters, like.
Oh yeah, I think. Yeah, I think
so. Not to get lascivious.
Not on.
Not to get too.
It's X-rated for noon.
I also wanted to say, we were talking about like songwriting. I guess I have a sort of unique, not a normal sort of songwritery kind of trajectory, because I was just a guitar player forever.
Right.
And I was listening to a lot of jazz and a lot of more kind of experimental music before I always was listening to songs, but I never really started writing them until a little later. And for years and years, I was just playing with different people and improvising.
Right. What are your what's your first record? Is it just instrumental?
The first sort of song-based, I did a lot of like just, early 2000s, just playing with people. And, this was a time where it was like more DIY kind of stuff, putting it out yourself.
Yeah.
It was like collaborative things. My first song-based record was kind of a mix of instrumental. It was like kind of half and half. And then I started enjoying writing more and kind of fell into it.
Does that early stuff exist online in places like yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your various outlets that I won't.
Let's take another call and then maybe we should wrap it up because it's been over an hour, which I knew it would be.
Wow. Okay.
See
That
how
went by
see how that
fast.
goes
Time
by?
flies.
Gosh.
You guys having a nice time?
Yes.
Lovely
very
time. I'm
regrets?
sad it's over.
Thank you for having us.
Kay Loggins, our old pal.
Okay. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
coming in crisp and
Yeah, professional mic.
can we,
Um,
Kay is
Big
a
fan.
tremendous talent herself.
thank you, Tim. I actually not to keep the ad train going, but I actually have another record out today myself. It's like a 5-piece improvisational group, Crustacean Committee. I won't waste any more of your time.
Talk to our ad sales department.
Yeah, Steve, big fan. Jeff, big fan. Berkeley. I saw you in October at the Goldfish with Patrick Shirishi and
Oh, yeah.
Max Shafi. That show, yeah, that band cooked. It was really good.
Oh, thanks.
Um,
And
when I was in LA
Amirtha Kidambi, right?
sorry?
Wait, and Amirtha, there was another musician named Amirtha.
Yeah, the others, yeah,
Right.
sax
Mhm.
player, yeah, and Jeremiah Chu as well, who I'm a big fan of.
Ooh.
Anyway, I actually have a songwriting question for everyone. I don't know if you've heard my music. A lot of it tends to fall around like a tonal center. Like it's kind of just more driving, and I dabble in more like kind of ambient electronic, sometimes dance music, like kraut rocky kind of cosmic stuff. So there's not a lot of like emotional chord changes happening. It's a lot of like 1 or just like 1-4, 1-4, 1-5, and I feel like y'all and especially Tim like kind of have more of a songwriter background. And this next project that I'm working on, the solo record, once the solo record in June comes out, I really want to. I made basically a long list of like bands that I listened to as a child and in my adolescence, and I really want to like go back and really listen more specifically in like the chord progressions and the melodies and kind of how they interact, like away from just sort of the tone or the effects or just sort of that. And so I just wondered if anyone had any advice about like coming into that journey and really focusing on the like songwriting aspect with melody, chord progression from someone who's used to more of a like, macro heady kind of like driving single chord kind of sound.
I could say that I kind of got stuck in some patterns sort of similar to what you're explaining, I think, where I'm just I found myself in the same tonal range every time I'm trying to write a song. And I think one thing that helped free me up was I would figure out what I was doing and maybe go on piano and play it and like maybe look and see, see where because you can do different, you can shift things differently. And melodically, you can. It's a different map, and that really helped me just to kind of break out of my habitual playing. Because for me, I played all the time for years and just practiced and practiced and practiced. But I never really. I should have gotten a little more sort of technical practicality to what I was doing. So sometimes I get kind of in these like cycles of the same thing over and over again. So. For me, it was just to pick up different instruments and try to play the same song in a different context.
It really does change it.
Yeah, that was pretty helpful.
I was doing this. I always find like a cheap trick, not to make a pun about a great band, but a cheap trick is to play the major version of a minor chord when you're not supposed to.
Oh.
Like so, I have this song that's like I won't play the song, but it's basically like A. Right, pretty classic. Pretty classic thing. But then at the end, for sort of the coda, I start going. And it's just your ear gets refreshed.
Yeah.
And that's a major instead of the minor. But I love it. It's like.
What's the minor sound like?
Well, this is the minor. So this is A major. This is B minor. So that's sort of a classic. That's like what music is supposed to do in that. But then at the end, right? It's nice. It like refreshes your ear. Huh?
It was the second chord, the B major. You said?
Yeah.
Let me hear
As
it next to
opposed
the
to-
minor. Okay.
Not sad.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy.
Uh-huh.
There's a great video online that's Paul Simon on the Dick Cavett show, and he had just
Seen
he's
that, yeah.
working through
That's a beautiful.
Still Crazy After All the. Can you find that, Matt? This is worth watching almost to wrap it up. He this is the best songwriting, right? You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
do, yeah.
Watch this. We can talk about it after it. Watch this, Doug. You dare. NK.
Who's had quite the continued success.
Well, we
that
might just want to
my
get to
next
him
guest-
talking about the.
It's he was had this strain
Keep
that
going.
he labored under.
Bridge over
Wait,
troubled
he gets
waters.
he picks up the guitar. That'll
There's
be
a lot of
you.
writing.
It's a good haircut workshop.
It's a terrible haircut.
Planning on doing this, but I'll show you how it actually started.
Can you put that on here?
Is it gonna come in the thing? Oh, there it is.
I also love how he just tunes
So it
with his
started
ear,
out with
right?
me singing a song. The beginning of the song I had. Da, da, da,
This isn't it.
da, da, da.
This not it.
Now this
No.
part.
I know it's not crazy. It's like some song about peace.
That
or-
comes from
No,
a Bach.
Okay.
It's still crazy after all these
Oh,
years.
okay. Okay. Fast forward. Maybe he does it again. Yeah, this is it. This is it.
No,
That's Bridge Over
no, he's
Troubled
doing Bridge
Waters.
Over Troubled Waters.
okay.
Just type in Paul Simon, Still Crazy, Dick Cavett. Because, yeah, I met my old lover on the street last night. There he goes. Partially
Sure,
written.
right.
Well, anyway,
song,
here's
so
what
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean.
It's been a classical too. That's
That's a chord, right?
This is a chord, yeah. It happens to be an E minor 7th chord.
Well, I knew that, but
It's
Or-
open tuning too.
No,
or a
it's-
G6th. They're exactly
Not,
the same
it just,
chords.
if you do
Much
play an
the same.
open.
Oh, okay.
Here's
got
a
it.
song.
Okay.
Here's a song I'm working on. I haven't got it finished. I'll show you. I'll go up to the point where I've stopped. All right?
all right, maybe perhaps I can help you.
And I would appreciate your help if you could, because I've been stumped here for a
I
while.
finished a lyric for Stephen Sondheim once on the show, so go ahead.
Shut up, Dick.
He didn't use it, but
Okay. I met my old lover on the street last night. She seemed so glad to see me. I just smiled.
What a player, right? What a
So
his
good.
finger work.
We
Yeah.
talked about some old times, and we drank ourselves some beers. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years. I'm not the kind of man who tends to socialize, no. I seem to lean on old familiar ways. And I ain't no fool for love songs that whisper in your ears. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years. And that's where I'm stopped. Now, I'll give you my choices.
okay.
These are musical choices because lyrically, I really don't know what I have to say. Perhaps you'll give me the lyric. You give me the lyric, and I'll put the music in.
Okay.
Here I am on a D9 chord. Does that mean anything to you? I
Well,
heard that
that
you don't
seems-
know a lot about music, actually.
I would have gone for a
You're
D8, in the, but that's fine.
You're theater people. Theater people come at music from another direction.
That's true, yeah, from inside.
So I can go here. Here are my choices. Look, here I can go to this chord. I can go here to that
Yeah.
chord. That's a G major. I can go. That's a G sharp minor.
That's nice. It's a little
It's made another
Hawaiian,
key.
but it's nice. It's like,
Well, I tell you what I'm thinking is roughly the scale that I've used in this song is based around a D scale.
based around or
around
based
it-
on?
Well, you know, it's based on there's
Oh.
two sharps in the D scale, so it's based on that. Now, two of the notes I haven't used in this song so far are C natural and C sharp. I haven't used them.
Well, they're always good.
And they're in a pinch. If you pull out a C natural or a C sharp, you're liable to.
Have you ever reached for your C sharp and gotten your C natural?
Is that line worth going into?
Go ahead, Paul. You just pretend I didn't say that.
It's one of those lines that has the right inflection.
Yes.
It swings. It swings
Yeah,
on the.
Groucho said it would be filthy.
Well, anyway, my point is that if I go to this key, where I'm changing keys, I can get these notes in that I hadn't used, C and C sharp. And although the listener will not ever consciously say, those are two new notes I haven't heard, in fact, it will be refreshing to the ear.
It will. In
hear
other words, it'll
something
be
new.
somehow more satisfying to use the complete set, even to those of us who know nothing about
Yes.
those of them, I mean, who know nothing about music.
And the same principle
That's
would hold
fascinating.
true
It really
in.
is.
I imagine the same principle would hold true in comedy. If you use you develop a certain you establish some
anyways.
kind of comedic pattern.
What's the guitar doing?
Mm.
But
And
it's
you do-
true, right?
What was his final choice?
Uh,
The Hawaiian notes to the C?
It does change there. How's the rest of that song go? Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy
I mean, you can tell
these
from the
years.
construction of that song that he really he knows harmony. He really knows, like he's studied. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
You can tell by the way that he talks about it.
He does that song. I tried to learn it over the pandemic because I would watch him play it. That American Tune song, you know that one? But he does this. Wait, I can't remember how it goes. So this won't be good. You know the song American Tune?
I don't think I know it. I mean, if I heard it, I may know it.
Many are the times I've been mistaken. That's what that part is. Many times abused. But just that, like watching him play. Many are the times I've been mistaken.
It's almost like a classical.
Yeah.
He actually took it from a classical piece. I think.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then he does that. He goes to the A major.
Is it necessary to keep changing chords all the time?
Yeah. Well, not everybody. I mean, you can get into a drone thing, right?
Like Velvets. Yeah.
Velvets, yeah.
I'm just kidding. But he really, watching him do that is like, wow, like every note he sang was like a whole different chord. It seems like, can't you just make that work with 3 or 4 chords? But I don't know.
Some of his best songs are 3 chords too. You know?
There you go.
Of Paul Simon.
Me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Yeah.
Want to take one more?
One more,
last
and then we'll
question?
say goodbye. What time is the show tonight? 8 o'clock.
Doors at 8.
Zebulon.
You got to check it out.
And we're also playing tomorrow night too.
Saturday night.
Rene Duplantier.
René.
Been waiting patiently.
René Duplantier. Yeah.
Can you unmute Rene?
I don't know.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hey.
Just listening to y'all's records this morning off the recommendation from the Patreon. Really, really cool. I'm like trying to I kind of relate to what Steve was saying because I grew up playing like punk bands, and I guess like since college I'm in more of like a trying to get away from drums moment. So it's kind of like a production question. Like when you're making a record that's so guitar based, so instrumental, you know, what are you doing to fill out? Like, is there something that like you find is a good way to somehow fill it out in that the space where the percussion was?
Do you mean like when you're writing? Like
I mean, in the recording process primarily. Like
a lot of sometimes.
Yeah.
drum machines are pretty helpful. If you want to try to write and you don't
I did
wanna...
this. My new not to make it about me again, but the new record is like all
Oh,
Lynn
that's
drum.
awesome. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then we got a real drummer in for some little things
that's
and
what I
some
was
other
gonna
things.
yeah.
But having that Lynn drum really changed everything for me.
That's so cool.
Just for this one thing. I don't know if I'd do it again, but
It's like Prince.
yeah,
Like he was a big Lynn drum,
yeah,
and then recording drums over top
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it could be helpful. You know, it's easy nowadays to get. You can even have a drum machine on your phone. And the last record I made was a lot. I recorded it here in LA at Rob Schnaff's studio.
Oh yeah,
And
I saw him last night there.
Yeah,
he's a scenester. He's a guy at the
making
shows.
rounds. But he, a lot of the stuff, because we were writing it kind of during when it wasn't, you know, sort of like lockdown-y kind of times, but we didn't have a lot of people in the studio. So it was just 3 of us trying to make an album. And Rob had a couple of different drum machines. So basically we were just like finding the tempos and recording the guitars and vocals over that and building the song around that with no real drums. And then the very end of the session, my friend from New York, who's an incredible drummer, came, and we took the drum machine out, and he just sort of like got the tempos, and it kind of glued itself together.
So he didn't play to the drum machine? He didn't play with the drum machine?
He would probably play with it. Yeah, I guess it would be, at certain times it would be in there, but sometimes we would just take it out.
Right.
And he would get the tempo, and it all kind of made it feel a little more real. Like,
I heard this
there's
story about Dylan's No Mercy record, the
Mhm.
Daniel Lenoir.
Yeah.
And they said that, do you know about this? The production technique for that one was, it was just him and a guitar and a drum machine.
Right.
And
yeah.
like a monitor and him basically live with a drum machine playing his songs.
Yeah.
And that was like the basic track. But then they went in with the band and played to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an interesting approach.
Yeah.
It works. You don't feel that at all with the record. It feels super organic and like it's a band in there. But
Mhm.
for some
Yeah.
reason, it was the way they did it. Anyways, yeah.
Stevie Wonder did that too. Like when I was making this record and I brought my friend Ryan to come and play,
Yeah.
he was like, "This is so great because he's a huge Stevie Wonder fan, and a lot of people don't know that he's an incredible drummer."
He played all the instruments
Yeah,
on Superstition, right?
Yeah, and
I mean
and
that record. It wasn't called Superstition. The record. Is it called
Intervisions?
Intervisions.
Yeah. But
Oh,
he
no.
No.
or-
What's the record that has
Superstition on it?
Yeah. Is it called Superstition?
I think it's called Superstition.
Fulfilling this?
There's like 4 of
There's-
those
yeah.
early 70s that were like all came out like one after the other.
Talking Book.
Talking
it's-
Book.
But
No,
also
there's another one.
he
with-
did
in the city.
Oh, in the city. Gosh.
Intervisions.
Intervisions.
Yeah, it's Intervision. But he did all the drums at the end.
Did
Yeah.
you see
Like
Summer?
the last-
Did you see Summer of Soul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
You see him play drums in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, right, right.
That was like a
Yeah.
showstopper
Like,
moment.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like in part of his show probably
It's
was to like.
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible drummer.
I wonder if he still plays. Like do you think he like has a kid
wonder.
somewhere to play for fun, or is he
That'd be
too
cool.
old? Too old. It's not nice.
I'm sure he still plays.
Does
Well-
that answer your question? Do you, I mean, okay.
Where'd Renee go?
Right on.
Yeah. Oh, he's saying.
Yes. All right. Well, let's let these boys get back to their day. I know it's a lot on a show day. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Wait.
Yeah. Get some food.
Yeah, I mean, I have domestic. I have to pick my son up from school.
Oh yeah. How old's your son?
He's 10.
I have an 8-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah,
awesome.
daughter.
Great.
Completely different situation. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming
Thank you.
down, and have a great show. Have a great tour.
Thank you very
Great to
much.
see you
Thanks
again.
for
Great to
having
meet you,
us.
Jeff.
You too. Thanks.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
too.
to the
That was
patrons for
very
watching,
interesting.
and anybody listening later. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Listen. I hope you enjoyed it.